If you've made it this far, congrats. You are almost graduated from my series all about how to create your own workouts. We are on video 8 of 9, and I feel like this has been such a good series. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do more series like this, if you like this, or if you'd prefer it to be just in one video. I always accept feedback, negative and positive, because it helps me grow and it helps me continue to provide quality content for all of you. Hi, I'm Kelsey Nanini. I am a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a certified nutritionist. I help you go from frequent gym goer to strong, confident, educated athlete. Today, we are going to talk about rest. So I wanted to share an unpopular opinion that I have. Maybe it's not unpopular. Maybe if, you've been around the gym a time or two, you understand this concept as well. If you don't think that proper rest is important, you are not training at a high enough intensity to elicit a response. And I will explain as this video goes on. So ultimately, rest is going to vary based on the training goal, the load you're using, and your training age. So how much experience you have in training. When you're first starting out in training, regardless of what science says, what anything suggests, you may need longer rest periods than what is programmed. And guess what? That is okay. The biggest thing with starting your fitness journey is making it last a lifetime. So if that extra rest gets you to keep going, then take the damn rest. Coaches, remember that as well for your beginning clients. But remember that as your training gets more intense, as you become more advanced, you're training under heavier loads, you need long rest periods. Just because you have an old training age, you are very trained, you're advanced, does not mean that you can lift under maximal or maybe close to maximal loads and only rest for 30 seconds. Because at that point, it is not a maximal or anywhere near a maximal load. And with this, a research study that was from Robinson and colleagues showed that there was greater strength gains when someone rested for 3 minutes compared to 30 seconds within a back squat. And there's much more research where this came from. So I'm not saying to follow just science, but the science adds up. Now, relating this back to our strength and hypertrophy focus for this series, specifically related to lower body, something to keep in mind is the lower body, because it's a larger musculature than the upper body, oftentimes will need longer rest periods. I don't know about you, but when I back squat or I deadlift, I need at least 3 minutes to recover, especially under very close to or at maximal loads versus when I do it for bench or press. I still want to rest, 2 minutes or more with that, but I definitely need more rest with my lower body. Comment below if you agree. But within strength, with, again, the max or near max exercises, you want your rest to be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long. This is so that you can repeatedly put in the effort needed to elicit strength gains. Again, if you're going to only rest for 30 seconds, you're not necessarily going to reach that stimulus and that intensity needed to gain strength. Now, within gaining muscle, aka training for hypertrophy, it's a little bit different. Because intensities aren't as high, but volume is higher, you actually want to start your next set before you have fully recovered. This seems counterintuitive based on what I just said for strength, but the reason being is that we want a way to overload the muscle to cause that muscle hypertrophy. We want that muscle damage to occur in order for muscles to grow. So for hypertrophy, we typically want to take about 30 to 90 seconds of rest. On average here, you'll probably see mostly 60 to 90 seconds, really mostly 60. But again, it can definitely range from 30 to 90, just depending on the intensity of the exercise, the load used, and so on and so forth. This was definitely a shorter video, not a ton to touch on within rest, but congratulations, you have made it through the 7 principles of program design to properly prepare you for how to create your own workouts. But don't go anywhere, make sure to stick around. I have one last video tying everything together, trying to make it all make sense. We'll wrap it up and that will conclude this series. You can click here to finish up.